Hey y'all, how are you doing? I am great. Thank you so much for asking. It's me, Kim, and I am back for another video. All right, we're on Kimberly time as per usual, but in my defense, I have an open wound, okay? We can talk about that later, but it's a whole thing. All right, so we are off and running to 2023. I hope your 2023 is off to an amazing start. I have been having so much fun hanging out, having fun, making new friends, new connections, and of course, new merch, but we'll get into that later. I have a couple of intros. So first of all, we are here today to talk about Chef Way, aka Waymo the God, and that entire scandal that unfolded a couple of weeks ago, what it says about the evolution of internet culture, what it says about how profitable Misogynoir is, and what it says about how important the voices of Black women on the internet are, okay? There is a lot, we have a lot of ground to cover. It's a good old-fashioned Kimberly Nicole Foster deep dive. But before I really get into it, there's a couple of things that I wanted to say. The first one is I have to publicly come on here and thank YouTube. YouTube got me this great Christmas gift. And I just cast it aside and I kind of shitted on it when I first got it because I was so overwhelmed. I was trying to get everything out of my house before the new year happened. And I was just like, oh, like I don't need more shit. But anyways, it was an amazing gift. And I didn't even realize the extent of the gift until I was watching Aaliyah's face, her vlogs. And I was like, oh, okay. So they gave a record player and it was this thing. And they gifted everybody an album. And I got Al Green, which I just am, anybody who knows me, I fucking love the 70s. I love soul music. Whoever got this, pick this out, y'all really get me. Y'all get me. And of course, there's this thing on the back. I wanted to come on here to show it off because I want to have a spirit of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, and I really do appreciate it. I know I'm 3 weeks late, but seriously, I love this. Such a nice gift. I really do love being a YouTuber. It's been great. It's been a second, awakening of my career, of course, because I started blogging. So thank you, YouTube. I wanted to send a thank you, but I was like, I don't know who to send the thank you to. So anyways, if this was you, send me an email and I'll, hit you back. Okay, next thing on my list, we're back on analog, so we have pen and paper now. Ooh, next thing. I am continuing to pour effort and resources into connecting Black women in DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, where I live. And so I decided to open up the DFW Group Me that I started last year. So if you didn't have access to it before, there is a link down in the description box below. You can ask to join, okay? Fill it out, so I can look you up, you know what I mean? So I can do a little Google, okay? Put your name in there. If there's no name and I can't Google, then you won't be allowed into the Group Me. But I want to do more happy hours and, wind down Wednesday. And we are planning a Galentine's Day event. Tickets for that will go on sale ASAP. I loved and had such a great time last year just meeting so many new people, and I genuinely made new friends, and it's just so fun to connect people. I really do feel like that is a part of my calling, my purpose in addition to this. So if you're in Dallas-Fort Worth, you have to live, because we had some issues with that before, you do have to live in Dallas-Fort Worth, okay? Sign up. Click the link, join the Group Me. It's a great time. What else do we have on here? Next. Here we go. Merch. All right, you guys, I love a number. The merch is selling like hotcakes. Let's see what the number is now. We're at 557 merch orders. Shout out to y'all. The Are Y'all Okay merch has officially been retired. It might come back later. It might not. I'm also toying with making all of the merch, like the seasons, available for all of the paid subscribers all the time. But right now it is no longer available. So if y'all got the Are Y'all Okay, the first edition of the merch, the sweatshirts and the sweatpants, the joggers, shout out to y'all, because it truly is cute. It really is cute. And I see y'all in it, and it just looks so good. And now we have moved on to volume 2 of the merch, including all kinds of stuff, including these Black Women Are Not Here to Save You sweatshirts and hoodies. I, right now, am wearing the hoodie. Now, let me just tell y'all, before today, not a hoodie girl, but I'm actually into this. I'm going somewhere. You know, me and my boo, we're going somewhere after this. And I'm like, am I going to be a hoodie girl? You know what I mean? Like streetwear? Am I a streetwear girly now? I don't know. But anyways, I really love it. The embroidery, as per usual, so good, so cute. Again, shout out to everybody who's copped one. Literally, you did it again, Kimberly. My whole goal was only to sell things that I would legitimately buy and wear, because I don't think everybody does that. And I did it. So it's good. It's really, really good. The link to purchase the merch is down below. Additionally, I have been owing the paywall subscribers a video, and I'm going to give y'all a video tonight. We are, right after this, going to talk about my love life. Right after this, the link will go off, the developments right after this, okay? And that means I am going to make us late for, the event we're supposed to go to after this, but we got to do it. We're way, way overdue for that update. So I will see y'all behind the paywall. What's next? I love this, okay? Oh, again, we are going back analog, okay? Pen, paper, we love it. Merch, ooh. The other thing is, if you purchase merch and you take a cute picture in it, tag me in it, and if I decide that I want to use it, in a promo or whatever, I'll pay you for it. We're doing UGC over here. Also, if you have merch ideas, let me know, and I'll pay you for the idea. We love this. Additionally, I know that last year I said that I was going to give a portion of the proceeds of all of the merch sales to a Black woman, and that did not get launched. And it didn't get launched because I changed what I wanted the money to be for. I have decided that 10% of the proceeds is going to be a dream fund. So I want to use the money from the merch to help fund a Black woman's dream, like your project or passion or, whatever, and it doesn't even have to be like a money-making endeavor. It doesn't have to be a side hustle. It's just like, is there a hobby that you want to be able to explore? And so that's why we're, late on the launch of that. But yeah, we're going to go back, and 10% of everything that we have sold so far, we're going to open up the applications. Tell me about your dream if you're a Black woman. And you know what I really got inspired by? Shout out to Alice Walker. I really got inspired by In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. And Alice Walker just recently, she released a new book, but I always go back to In Search of Our Mother's Gardens, about how so many of our foremothers, our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers were artists, you know what I mean? And they didn't have the opportunity, the outlet, the time, the money to explore their creativity. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be, artsy-fartsy stuff. It could be whatever, right? And so I thought, and because I talk all the time about how lucky I am to be able to do what I love, to be able to live my dream, I thought, whoa, what a gift and an honor and a privilege it would be to actually help other Black women, I don't know, do something, live out their dreams, have some fun, explore things that they might not otherwise be able to explore. So be on the lookout for that. That's definitely getting launched by the end of the month. Have I done my... All right, we'll come here and get to some comments before we really dive deep into the mess. Yes, getting arts funding is extremely hard. Yeah. Yeah, I am. I love a crew neck, but I also, people were, asking for hoodies, and I just really liked this particular hoodie. If it was not this particular hoodie, oh, sorry, this is what I'm responding to. If it was not this particular hoodie, I probably wouldn't have decided to sell it, but I just like this brand a lot. The whole thing of it being hand dyed and no two are the same and all of that, like, love it, okay? Okay, what else? I did not find out my grandmother painted until she was gone. We found her paintings in the basement of her home after she passed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, all right. Anything else? Mm-mm. All right. It's time to get into it. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to have a little multimedia presentation. Let's learn about Chef Way, aka Waymond Wesley, and the fuckery that he has found himself in.
Lisa, the tweets in question were posted under a now deleted account back in 2015 and 2016, and Chef Way says he has changed his ways, but that has not stopped the outcry.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What happened?
Lisa, the tweets in question were posted under a now deleted account back in 2015 and 2016, and Chef Way says he has changed his ways, but that has not stopped the outcry.
Hey, what's up, guys? Let's make a
Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. We're cool here. Okay, why am I so small in this little circle? I don't know, but we'll go with it. So this is Waymond D. Wesley II. He is currently an assistant district attorney for Harris County. He just passed the bar in 2021. He went to undergrad at the University of Kentucky. I'm not exactly sure where he went to law school. He is 31 years old, a grown-ass man. I am putting this information up to shame him, just for shame purposes. We really could have jumped into something else, but I just want to leave this up for a second in case y'all want to write down this information, look it up on your free time, in case you want to get in contact with the Harris County District Attorney's Office or the Texas Bar Association. We'll just give it a few seconds, you know what I mean? Just pause, okay? Write it down. Okay, I think we're good. All right, okay. Okay, so we are gonna move on now. Yeah, take your phones out, ladies. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper into what exactly has happened with Chef Way, okay? So this is from a local Houston site. It hits different when you're a Black woman. Community activists call out Kim Ogg for standing by racist, sexist prosecutor Waymond Wesley II. Harris County, Texas, that's where Houston is located. Cries for removal are growing for the TikTok star who sits in a position of power in the Harris County District Attorney's Office after what many are calling his racist and sexist social media posts targeting Black women have come to light. Waymond Wesley II, aka Waymo the God, or Chef Way, is a prosecutor under District Attorney Kim Ogg. The popular Houston-based TikTok chef got millions of views for his recipes like oxtail soup. However, his recent disparaging remarks against Black women are what have caused him to go viral in a negative way. That's him. This is his rebrand as a TikTok chef. Okay. Newly resurfaced tweets show Wesley harassing and attacking Black women, seemingly simply for the color of their skin. Ironically, he is also African American. Now, I thought that little bit of coffee was interesting because if you're a Black woman, it's not ironic at all. We know many Black men come to themselves via degrading Black women on social media, in entertainment. It's not unexpected whatsoever. In tweets from 2015 and 2016, Wesley, writing under a now deleted account, Waymo the God, is accused of posting a barrage of negative comments about dark skin and fuller-figured body types. He also compared Black women to trash. He is in a relationship with what appears to be an Asian woman, and people make it clear they don't care what type of woman he prefers. The issue, many say, is the fear that, as a prosecutor, he could hold the power to try and intentionally harm the women he appeared to express disgust for. Twitter users reacting to the tweets called him colorist, anti-Black, and misogynistic. So this is from I Am Hogo. You commented on one of my pics on my old account and said my dark skin made me ugly. I was in high school, called me all types of butterface. You said if I was light-skinned, I'd look better. Now you're a chef? That's crazy. Wesley acknowledged that he made the comments, but dismissed them as the way he felt during a different stage of his life. He implied that the statements were reflective of how he felt about Black women in the past, but not today. In a post to his social media sites, Wesley wrote, "To those I've hurt with my past tweets that have resurfaced, I'm deeply sorry. That was a moment in my life when I was sick in more ways than one. Cooking saved me. You have watched a flawed man heal. I will continue to heal and learn. Thanks for being along for the journey." Okay. According to the State Bar of Texas, Wesley has been licensed to practice law since January 2021. He joined the Harris County DA's office in March 2021. Commenters on social media tagged Ogg and the Harris County DA office, calling for Wesley to be fired. They are questioning if he should be trusted, not believing that his alleged racism would allow him to treat Black women fairly in a court of law. Here's a good tweet. Just know if you're a Black woman in some trouble in Harris County and Waymond Wesley is on the prosecution, get a good lawyer, sis. Your chances of being incarcerated with a lengthy sentence just increased significantly. Absolutely. His boss, however, does. We think he can't be trusted. His boss, however, does, okay? Ogg is dismissing the demands for Wesley to be let go and released a statement publicly supporting him. We recently learned of comments he made on social media posts nearly 7 years ago when he was a grown man. Okay. These posts were inappropriate and offensive and do not reflect my values or those of the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Mr. Wesley has explained that these posts came during a period in which he was struggling with serious personal issues, including alcohol addiction. Prior to joining our office, Mr. Wesley went through treatment and has worked with the State Bar of Texas to resolve his issues. His recovery is ongoing. I am a believer in second chances, and Mr. Wesley has conducted himself professionally since joining our staff. I am confident that will continue, Ogg said. People in the community are asking Ogg to investigate the situation further. Okay. Here is Dr. Candace Matthews. I blame him for his opinions, but I don't blame him for the position that we are in right now because he has stated his bias. Lonnie Johnson, okay. My fight is not with him. My fight is with Kim Ogg. I say to her, there is no way that you can have a young man who has put a picture of a Black woman next to trash and says, I can't tell the difference. Say, there is no bias with that individual. Absolutely. Here we have Kim Ogg, the DA. Okay, it's up to her. This is interesting. This is not the first time that Kim Ogg has upheld a travesty against Black women. We need to be aware and recuse going forward. This man actually took it upon himself to hunt Black women on social media. a woman introduced as Mrs. Weber said, he was not responding to an attack. He was not responding to a question, a comment, or anything like that. He took it upon himself to seek out Black women and attack and harass them in such a way that many Black women content creators have shut down their accounts because of his attacks. Man, okay, hey, hey, ho, ho, this sexist prosecutor got to go. We love a chant, okay? We love that. So yes, that was that, hey, hey, ho, ho, this sexist prosecutor got to go. Let's now go to some classic Wesley tweets. Okay, here we have him. Here we got it. Just trash. So here's somebody saying, this man harassed me for no reason. Here we have one of his now deleted tweets. If Black Lives Matter to Sandra Bland, she wouldn't have taken her own life. I'm serious. What? Are you? Okay. Let's get into some more Wesley trash. The classic colorism. SMH, the dark-skinned one, messed up the pic. On another dark-skinned woman, he posted, she's too black. On another one, if she was light-skinned, she'd be fire. Okay, let's get into some more Wesley trash because the hits keep on coming. All right, this is him, Waymond the God, Real Beauty versus Weaving Lies. Of course, here we see a woman who appears to be Latina next to Angela Simmons, literally in like a weave campaign. So, of course, she's wearing weave. All right, next to that, we have him commenting, this is the perfect size woman and skin tone. She's healthy. Anything bigger/darker than this is garbage. It's garbage. Oh, but there's more. There's more. Can't have colorism without fat phobia. This is from Waymond the God, the body type that should wear bikinis versus the body type that shouldn't. Okay, who asked you? And, again, as the woman in the article said, completely unsolicited. Didn't have to do this. He was just feeling this in his heart one day. And he said, you know what? I got something to get off my chest, okay? And then he logged on and said, put up a picture of a thick Black woman next to a picture of garbage and said, I see no difference. I'm sorry, but that is just so sick. Like, you literally rolled over in bed and pulled out your iPhone and said, Google, Black woman and garbage. And you did that as a grown man. You did that. Okay, there's more. Number one sign of an unhealthy woman, stretch marks. As if I literally have not had stretch marks since I was 9 years old, Wesley. Okay. Next, here we have, think about how many stretch marks you gave your mom. That's a replier. And how many, and how none of them were worth it because you're a piece of shit. Now, speaking of Wesley's mother decided to chime in. She's like, did somebody call me? It got so bad that his mother replied to people shaming him, and she said, it's down below, you can see her responding. I am his mom. I raised him exactly opposite of this BS he's spewing. I do not condone his ludicrousness. His mom. Dude, do you know how much you gotta be fucking up for your mom to get on Twitter to publicly decry you in 2016? Oh, embarrassing. Oh, and Waymond Wesley the first? Oh, he gotta be embarrassed. The shame to the family name, okay? Y'all, but just go ahead and retire Waymond Wesley, okay? Don't try to give us Waymond Wesley the third, okay? Because the name is done. It's dead Waymond, okay? Now, speaking of his preferences, people have been quick to point out that he recently got engaged He makes content with his fiance, and of course, he posted her. Let's take a look. Okay, Asian woman. Okay, now it's interesting because remember like that post where he said anything thicker than this is unacceptable? All right, she's, thicker, okay. Shout out to Melissa Tran. Boy, yeah, let me tell y'all, you gotta be doing your due diligence on these men because I know Melissa's embarrassed. Oh, baby, well, maybe she's not, but how embarrassing would it be? You think you got a good man, good job, upstanding citizen, and then this shit comes out on the local news, in the Houston Chronicle, okay? Cannot Google your name or your fiance's name without this shit coming up forever. Shout out to you, Melissa. All right, next. And let's go back and look at his apology once more. Here we go. To those I've hurt with my past tweets that have resurfaced, I'm deeply sorry. This was a moment in my life where I was sick in more ways than one. Cooking saved me. You have watched a flawed man heal. I will continue to heal and learn thanks to being along for the journey. I made significant life changes since then. Bad choices from that era don't reflect who I am now. I was wildin' for sure. Wow. All right, we have to talk about this. Let's talk about this. The little caption under this says the origins of digital Black feminism, BWE, which is Black women's empowerment, and dark-skinned Black women activism, because we cannot separate all of that from all of this, okay? So my first thoughts are, my abolitionist impulses tell me that anybody can come back from anything. I don't think there's a such thing as an irredeemable person. But my abolitionist impulses also tell me that you can't come back without doing some work, okay? You can't just, fire off some tweets, put up on your social media, I'm so sorry, that was the old me, and now I'm good. No, that's not how repair works. I think that Wesley at this point, if he wants us to stop contacting his workplace, and just in case you do want to contact his workplace, bar card number 241-22295, okay. Primary practice location, 300 Jefferson Street, Houston, Texas, 77002, okay. Harris County District Attorney's Office. His boss's name is Kim Ogg. Just in case you do want to be in contact with his employer, that's that information, okay? Are you writing it? Do you need a second? Okay. Just, take all the time you need. Okay. So abolitionist Kimberly understands that you cannot just come out after you get caught, after people are planning the boycotts, after people are telling all of their stories about how you harassed them, how you shamed them, how you literally were telling teenagers that they are ugly because they are dark-skinned, that, oh, we're good now. We're not. So I wrote down, gotta have consequences. I think it is a great thing that there have been at least 2 sponsors that have pulled their support from Wesley. We can take a look at what they have said. Tastemade, we're shocked and disappointed to see this past behavior coming from a partner creator, behavior that we do not condone and certainly does not align with our values. He has been removed from our platform, and we do not plan to collaborate in the future. Love that. We love it. And this is from, I believe, a cutlery brand or a pots and pans brand named Anova. Their head said, I believe that brands are about values. We want to partner with individuals that reflect our own values. Chef Way clearly does not represent the values that we hold dear. Thanks to those that called this out, we need to do a better job vetting people that represent our brand. Okay, we love that. Hopefully, since I did that little bit of research, there have been more people, but it's a great start. All right, so more sponsors. I think that Wesley needs to come out and tell us exactly, be very, very specific about the explicit work that he has done to overcome these biases. What books have you read? What people have you spoken to? What activist organizations have you engaged with? What activist organizations do you continue to support? Are you giving your money to dark-skinned Black women? That is the beginning of the process of restoration and repair. We can't even talk about not calling this man's job until we get some of that. That is the start of the pathway to being welcomed back into the fold. The start. You're a public servant, then fucking serve. The other thing. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know how I feel about prosecutors. So when I found out that this man was a prosecutor, I said, oh, okay. Because, it's just so funny that District Attorney Kim Ogg was like, oh, well, we believe in second chances, and he was going through a really tough time, and we're not going to punish him because he was going through a really tough time. And I thought, oh, well, how ironic, real ironic, not fake ironic. How ironic, Kim. Because I wonder how many people have you pursued charges against where you said, oh, second chances, it's all good. I wonder, is that the overall ethos of the Harris County District Attorney's Office? Where if people say, oh, I'm so sorry, I did this, I was going through a hard time, that we don't pursue punishment? Because that seems pretty incongruent with how prosecution generally works. Or is it just that when this particular man has participated in behavior that potentially puts every single case, any case involving a woman that's not white or Asian in question, or are we just saying, oh, it's good? Okay, love that. I think he needs to hand over his platforms. You know what I mean? You had that 250,000 on TikTok. We don't want to see you cook anymore, right? Be highlighting some dark-skinned Black women. There's just so many things that I have here that's and again, I understand that 7 years is a long time. It's not that long, right? I have very vivid memories from 7 years ago, but I understand people can grow and change. Sometimes I think about how, because of my natural just orientation towards life, I'm Enneagram 4, which means I'm, an individual. I'm rebellious. I think I'm a special snowflake. I'm always questioning everything. I always knew inequality was wrong. I always knew that just shitting on people because of their identities was wrong. And some people have to grow out of that. I get it. I acknowledge it. But we also have to talk about how that particular brand of nastiness, the colorism, and it's not even just I don't want to date a dark-skinned woman, right? It's going out of your way to find people's pictures and comment nasty things on them and retweet them. And a part of that is because they're absolutely, for the kids, I've talked about this on the other channel too. There absolutely was a time when the quickest way as a Black man to build a following was to say horrible, nasty, disgusting shit about how ugly, dark, masculine, manly, annoying, loud, angry Black women are on social media. I think I've had this Twitter account maybe since 2010. I started my first Twitter account in 2009. I remember or maybe 2008. Maybe 2008 or 2009. I was real early because I was on Twitter. I remember when Michael Jackson died And I was on Twitter when, I was still in school. Right. So early, it literally was the Wild West for Misogynoir. It was everywhere. Literally inescapable. And that is why so many of us, Black women, Black feminists, the Black women's empowerment people, even though I don't align with that ideology, the dark-skinned Black women activists, even though I do not necessarily align myself with that part of the internet, it was a natural outgrowth of the nastiness, the malice, the viciousness, the violence that was directed at Black women every single day on social media, on YouTube. It was literally inescapable. And that's why it makes me so mad when, I hate to say this word. It makes me so mad when the Manosphere people try to come up with this really disingenuous shit, this revisionist history of one day Black women out of the blue just started attacking them and talking about how bad Black men were. And then trying to pin it back to Michelle Wallace in the 70s or Sojourner Truth in the 19th century. No. It's absolutely contemporary and ongoing and virulent and aggressive and unprovoked. So we see these Black women literally creating digital spaces, enclaves, as Kathy Squire would say. Ooh, speaking of, right? Man, I have to, shout out this book. It's called Digital Black Feminism by Catherine Knight Steele. I'm absolutely recommending it. The link is down below, not just because my work is featured in it a few times, because I did have a life before YouTube of being a serious, online feminist, but because this book outlines why it was so important for Black women 10 years ago, 15 years ago, to create these spaces, to create these enclaves, to have these digital beauty shops where we could talk and learn and laugh and commiserate. Back when For Harriet was a blog, and we're going to relaunch this year, absolutely, 100%, 100%. I knew that, and this is before, any of the dark-skinned, women activist YouTube I was even aware of. But I launched Created for Harriet, the blog, in 2010. And I knew that if I wanted to have lots of Black women come to the site to talk about their stories, what kind of story did we want to put up? What kind of essay? An essay about love, trying to love a Black man, or an essay about colorism? I always knew that anything that touched on one of those two topics was going to be a hit because everybody has a story. And there were, at that time, so few arenas for us to just come together and be like, this shit fucking sucks. It just was not a thing. And so do not let these men come on here in 2023 and play victim. Do not let them do that. Because it is absolutely untrue. The consequences of that are ongoing. When we see, let's bring this up. Janae says, I was 16, 17 when I first got on Twitter, a skinny, dark-skinned girl, and saw nothing but people comparing us and our bodies to roaches, burnt food, roast beef, bodily excretions, and whatnot. So yeah, I wish the very worst on all Twitter OGs who participated. There is a generation of young women, right? The men are trash girls, the, fuck these niggas girls, the city girls, feminism girls, even if I have some concerns, they are responding to the environment. They're responding to the landscape. They didn't just wake up one day and say, these niggas suck. Because first of all, frankly, most of us are not socialized into that. I am a child of, even if she has a very, progressive career for a Black woman, a religious ass Black woman boomer. I didn't grow up hearing, well, I did grow up hearing get your own stuff. I did grow up hearing that, but it was still get your own stuff, but let the man lead. Like, but then you look around and be like, what are these niggas leading? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to yell. Where are they leading us? Anyways, I just wanted to underscore that what we see now, what people call the quote unquote black gender wars, is not one side of the gender war waking up one day and saying, oh, I hate these people for no reason. Oh, I want to say, nasty things about these people for no reason. It's not that. It was never that. And if we take into consideration how violence starts with words and then trickles out into the world, is it even really a war? Right? Because war denotes that there's, equal investment. I wouldn't say that. Okay. So when, the other thing that I wanted to say, right, with regards to how so many women of all ages were imbibing this stuff all day, every day, it also reinforces the fact that men, generally, black men in particular, have no space to comment on black women's aesthetic choices. No space. Whether it be weave, hair color, body shapers, BBLs, whatever. Shut the fuck up. We don't want to fucking hear it. If you were on the internet during this period of time and you are not loudly and proudly, explicitly at every given opportunity saying, I love black women, y'all are beautiful just the way you are, defending us, and also replying back to the people who participated in that, I don't want to fucking hear it. You have no leg to stand on. Again, because all of this is reactive. It's responsive. And yes, you know what I've always said, agency and coercion coexist in all things and everything. So even while many of us love the aesthetic stuff, I love the aesthetic stuff, I will never, ever try to deny that there are so many forces that are pushing us towards certain looks, that are pushing us towards straight hair, that are pushing us towards certain styles of dress, that are pushing so many women towards BBL and BBL culture. Both things coexist. It's both and, not either or. And we don't want to fucking hear it from the men. Okay, let's get to some comments before we get into the next part of this. Yeah, I can totally, say that the swirl stuff, the girls absolutely ran toward the swirl stuff because the men showed themselves to be so horrible. I say all the time, my preference is my preference, with the black man now. I always knew I wanted to be with the black man. But even I have outwardly said, I get it. I mean, and there's also the numbers part of it. The good black men were silent and silently laughed. Okay. It is very dangerous for a man with this type of hatred to be in this position of power. There is no difference between him and a white Karen. They played and joked on your kinky hair. Now they don't want you to wear wigs. Eventually, it gets tiring trying to fight people who look like you but don't respect you. So the other thing about, the partner stuff is, as I've always said, who you partner is political. And man, as soon as I saw who, his fiance was, I said, oh, baby, you're never beating the colorism allegations. Oh, you committed to it. I think, the unfortunate thing for all of us is that this stuff does not just stay on social media. As I alluded to earlier, the violent words that are spewed on social media absolutely trickle out or flow out or rush out into the world in myriad ways. And I wanted to be sure to make this video to underscore that I think a lot of our conversations, one of my beefs with the certain side of the internet is that a lot of the colorism conversations get stuck on step one. Like step one of the colorism conversation is, who do these men want to fuck? But it's actually so much bigger and scarier than that. And I thought that instead of just like repeating myself, I would quote myself, okay? All right, here's me. I have so many conversations about beauty and beauty standard, because beauty is not just about who desires you, who wants to date you, who wants to fuck you. The repetition of, oh, I like this, I prefer that, it's gotta be this. It is political, because the repetition of the idea of we want this, we like this, we desire this extends everywhere. It extends beyond Bumble, it extends beyond Tinder, it extends to the way people are received in the world. Your ability to move through the world safely, your ability to be employed, to have access to safe housing, to care for yourself, whether or not people feel like you are attractive enough to be in the world dictates so many fundamental things about your existence. So this is all right. So, that's me talking about why the conversations about desirability cannot end at who the men marry, who they fuck, who they retweet, who they follow on social media. It is structural and interpersonal. And for me, at this juncture in my life, step one is talking about the interpersonal. But we absolutely, as people who live in the world with these men, have to get to step 2, 3, 4, 5. So I decided to go ahead and pull up some scholarship about why the views that Waymond Wesley II, aka Chef Way, aka Waymond the God, holds, why they are so concerning as he occupies his position of power. Let's look at our first piece of scholarship. Okay, the salience, let me get it. The salience of skin tone. Read with me, effects on the exercise of police enforcement authority. Let's just go ahead and read the abstract here. This is published accepted as peer-reviewed on July 28th, 2014. Using nationally representative data, I examine, this is by Carletta White, in the Journal of Ethnic and Racial Studies, volume 38. Using nationally representative data, I examine the relationship between skin tone and police contact. In particular, the relationship between Blacks and Latino skin tone and being stopped or arrested by the police, controlling for prior delinquency, and other important factors. Descriptive results show that darker-skinned Blacks and Latinos are stopped and arrested more often than lighter-skinned members of the same group. When controlling for delinquency alone, blacks experience a significant increase in the number of times they are stopped and an 18% increase in the odds of being arrested by police as skin tone darkens. For Latinos, the interaction of skin tone and gender significantly affects the odds of police stops and arrests, even controlling for demographic factors, suggesting that future research on skin tone should incorporate analysis for Latinos, Latinas, as well as blacks. So basically what they are saying is, there's a big thing that happens with the intersection of skin tone and gender for people who you can obviously see as non-black. The light-skinned Latinas, the gender, they get it super easy because of their access to desirability. Now, the light-skinned men, Latinos, yeah, they get it easier than the darker-skinned men, but the lighter-skinned Latinas, skating. Not that we encourage police, interaction or anything like that. I'm just saying what the research says. I'm just saying what the research says. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, good old. I wasn't in the shot. Had to add myself real quick. Here we are. Good old Ellis Monk at my alma mater published The Color of Punishment also in the Journal of Ethnic and Racial Studies. This is in 2018. African Americans' Skin Tone and the Criminal Justice System, Department of Sociology, Cambridge, Massachusetts, abstract. Public debate and scholarly research has largely concentrated on the vast array of disparities between blacks and whites in their treatment by and experiences with the criminal justice system. Nevertheless, a growing body of research shows that African Americans' life chances are internally stratified by gradational differences in their skin tone. This study brings together research on race, color, and the criminal justice system by using nationally representative data to examine whether and to what extent skin tone is associated with policing and punishment among African Americans. I find that skin tone is significantly associated with the probability of having been arrested and or incarcerated, net of relevant controls. Further analyses using a subsample of whites drawn from the same nationally representative survey show that disparities in policing and punishment within the black population along the color continuum are often comparable to or even exceed disparities between blacks and whites as a whole. We can read this first, the introduction, the first paragraph. A substantial and growing amount of evidence strongly suggests that African Americans' life chances and outcomes are significantly associated with variation in their skin color. For example, while it is clear that whites on average have higher educational attainment than African Americans, a recent study reports that there is as much or even more educational inequality within the black population between the lightest and darkest skinned as there is between blacks and whites as a whole. That's something else from Ellis Monk. Indeed, studies show that darker-skinned African Americans have less income, have lower occupational prestige, and even worse mental and physical health outcomes. But there's more. Let's move on to the next one. The impact of light skin on prison time for black female offenders. Wait. Oh, here it is. Good old-fashioned paper. This is by Jill Viglione, Lance Hannon, and Robert DeFina. Accepted for peer review for the Social Science Journal on August 23rd, 2010. Abstract. There is a long history of social science research on the importance of race for determining life outcomes. However, there are relatively few social science studies on the importance of skin tone within racial groups. Some recent research has documented the quantifiable advantages associated with having a lighter skin shade, particularly in terms of occupational attainment and earnings among Blacks. A handful of studies focusing on Black men have also suggested that when authorities perceive offenders as having a lighter skin shade, it translates into more lenient criminal justice outcomes. The present analysis extends this line of inquiry by examining how perceived skin tone, assessed by correctional officers, is related to maximum prison sentence and actual time served for over 12,000 Black women imprisoned in North Carolina between 1995 and 2009. Controlling for several factors, the results indicated that Black women deemed to have a lighter skin tone received more lenient prison sentences and served less time behind bars. All right, we have one more. This is from the Journal of Ethnicity and Criminal Justice, published in 2017. Under the Skin of Probation, a statewide analysis by Kevin Steinmetz and Maria Koppel. Abstract. This analysis examines the inter- and intra-racial ethnicity effects of skin tone variations in a sample of probationers across 3 dependent variables: probation length, successful completion, and revocation due to technical violations. Darker tones were linked to shorter probation terms, with the exception of African Americans, among whom no effect was found. Darker tones were also associated with a decreased likelihood of successful probation completion. Conversely, probation success likelihood was higher among light-skinned Hispanics. Finally, lighter tones were also associated with increased risks of probation revocation. Importantly, across the analysis of any significant effects for whites dissipated once Hispanics were removed from the analysis. Okay, we have that, right? So we're gonna bring this back up once again, just in case, you didn't get it. Okay. Harris County District Attorney's Office, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just in case you didn't get it before. Waymond Wesley II. So I said all that to say, right, that based on the very large and growing body of evidence that we have with regard to the intersection of skin tone and interaction with the criminal legal system, as well as the length of time of prison sentence that you are expected to receive, a person who works in the district attorney's office clearly expressing with no kind of shame, you know what I mean, very unabashedly, overt bias against people with dark skin is a huge deal. It's a huge problem. And when I see people try to say, oh, who are y'all to judge? Who made y'all judge Judy? Y'all can't grow. And, that stupid shit. People are like, well, Malcolm X grew and all that. What we know for sure is that people who even implicitly hold biases against dark-skinned people are more likely to pursue harsher charges, longer prison sentences. They are treated. There was another study that I didn't bring up, but the police are more aggressive with people who have darker skin tones. There is no way to explain away not pursuing Waymond Wesley II's termination. And I say this as, again, everybody can be redeemed. I mean, you don't have to be outcast forever. But how can you look at this body of work? How can you look at the research that's currently being done and say it doesn't matter? You can't. There's just too much that says the opposite. It does matter. It's a big deal. It's inexcusable. We believe in second chances after Waymond Wesley II has adequately demonstrated that he has done a great deal of work to unlearn this really deadly, potentially life-altering, damaging bias that he holds. And he certainly should not be able to work with any cases involving Black women until that work is done. I don't like to do the, what if this was a white man who had spent years talking about how nasty, dirty, violent, criminal Black men were on social media, but, because I know that's the only way the Black men are going to get it. So yeah, people like this man. This is officially Ice. He now is a co-host of the Joe Budden podcast. He also has a very long, lengthy history of all of this stuff, you know what I mean? Just saying weird, outlandish, ridiculous things about dark skin. Like, why? Like, for what? I mean, we know for what, right? Because when people are posting on social media, they are optimizing the content that they post in order to get engagement, get virality, get followers. And then it's like you build up all of your clout and your persona based on hating dark-skinned Black women. And then it's like when the WB changed to CW, you think one day you can rebrand. But you literally built up your influence via shitting on Black women. So officially Ice is, not important. He's the co-host of a misogynist podcast. So yeah, like drag him for sure. But there is a big difference between a man who, sits on a nigga's couch a couple times a week, talking about, dark-skinned hoes, and this man who could potentially alter the life trajectories of who knows how many people, not experiencing any professional consequences. Big difference. So anyway, let me look at my notes to make sure we haven't skipped over anything. Yeah, in conclusion, right? I'm not a Black feminist on accident. There's so many things that drew me towards Black feminism, that pushed me towards Black feminism. I think fundamentally the ethic of Black feminism is loving. That's why, as much as I get called a misandrist, I get called a mammy. I am drawn to that. But I absolutely believe and know that even if my views evolve, right, the nuances of how I approach my Black feminism evolve as I get older. That same spark, that was lit in me when I was an undergrad, you know what I mean? That same spark that shot up, when I was, 19, sitting in intro to African American studies being like, where are the women in this class? Why are we not learning about more women, right? That still animates the work that I do today, and it's still just as important. Because I love the young girls, love y'all. So happy to see y'all, take up the baton and just keep it going. Love all of the Black feminist commentary girlies. There is so much more to do. There's so much work to do. And in some ways, frankly, I think the scary thing is in some ways we're regressing. Okay, before we, really wrap this up, I will shout out again. Shout out to Catherine Knight Steele and Digital Black Feminism. The link is down below. I think that an argument that Catherine makes in that book is like so much of this work, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot because in responding to the manosphere stuff, people are like, y'all are just as bad. You're just as bad. Even women say that. Kim, you're just as bad as the men. And I'm like, are y'all fucking kidding? Are y'all not seeing this? Like literally, these kinds of spaces arise. For Harriet's arise. Other spaces arise because, as Catherine Steele notes, Black women are just trying to keep ourselves alive. Physically, yeah. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's the work. So that's why I don't give a fuck about the misandry label. Don't give a fuck. I won't my man, y'all, today. I won't. But I could. But I will say, right, it doesn't matter what my relationship status is. It doesn't matter what my relationship status is. That's the other thing. It doesn't matter who I'm laid up with that night. I know that no one is going to invest more in keeping me alive than other Black women. Even if I'm madly in love, head over heels, smitten, baby talking on the phone, I know as I walk through the world, no one is going to care more, do more, show up more consistently for me than other Black women. That's what I know for sure. So, that's it, you guys. We still have some merch. Black women aren't here. Ooh, let me make sure. Oh, it's only 8:15. I'm good. Copy your merch. Black women aren't here to copy merch. It's up. KimberlyandFoster.com/merch. If you are a paid subscriber, you do get a discount on all of the merch. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Let me go through the comments one more time. Okay. And we ain't anti-Black men. We're anti-Misogynoir, and that goes for everybody. Black, white, Asian, male, female, NB. Anybody can get it. That is also the important thing. This is a off-the-cuff kind of thing, but I've been seeing these comments, so I really need to address it. The other thing that fundamentally separates my Black feminist ethic from the manosphere shit is I care about Black men and their well-being. I don't want Black men to be ravaged by the criminal legal system. I want them to get the mental and emotional support that they need to live happy, healthy lives. I, frankly, don't want y'all to be beat down every day by white supremacist capitalist patriarchy. I want y'all to be free from that. It does not help me as a Black woman to see Black men suffer. Not just because I, love them and, love one and date one. Oh, not love. That's too soon. It's too soon for love. But, just because I date one at a time. Ew, yuck, gross. Not love. I'm sorry. That is the fundamental difference. I'm not on here saying these niggas need to die and fuck these niggas and whatever and who cares and they deserve to suffer and all that. I want y'all to do better so we can all do better. But if y'all not gonna do better, you're just gonna have to get left. You know? Right? Like, you're just gonna have to be mad about all of the quote political, perceived political and economic power that you think Black women are hoarding. If you're not going to invest yourself in relinquishing the desire for domination, relinquishing the desire for violence, both verbal, physical, mental, psychosocial, then there's nothing I can do about that. Because that's not my ministry. Anyways, you guys. Okay. Let's look. Nappy-headed jojoba, yeah. We can't care more than they care about themselves, though. Yeah. We need more Black women in politics and positions of power who aren't Black male identified. We need protection. There can only be peace over here. Now you can act right and I'll make you some wings and pound cake. Or you can go ahead out of my face. Now, Kimberly ain't making no damn wings and no damn pound cake, okay? Okay? But I understand the sentiment, Phyllis. The system is doing what it was made to do, keep poor and Black people in line and out of the way. Okay, what else? Oh, here's a good shout out to T Noir, Khadija and Boy, Fab Socialism, Shan Spear, Princess Weeks, Madison Brown, absolutely. It's worse. Cops make the decision to arrest. Prosecutors bring the charges. We can also choose not to bring charges. Also, after the person is found guilty, DAs recommend sentences. Yes, Tatiana, right? That's why it is so dangerous for people who work in a district attorney's office to express such obvious distaste, disdain, disgust for a specific group, is because they have so much discretion. Prosecutors have so much discretion. There's so much room for variance from person to person, case to case. Even in 2023, where mandatory minimums are often a thing. Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay. This is why I'll always be empathetic to divestors. Okay. Well, I don't have time to get into that today. I don't. Okay, anything else? Oh, Julesy, yes. Is this pre-recorded? No, this is live. There are still a lot of mammies. I don't call Black women mammies. I don't do that. I don't think that's useful. The same reason why I'm not trying to call Black women the B word anymore. You ain't concerned about getting that in out of high office. You are concerned about shitting on Black men. But I mean, why not both? Sorry, like, porque no los dos, right? Like, I'm just kidding. Anyways, sorry, John. I can't even take that seriously. How can I say it in French? Okay. All right, we are done. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am heading over to behind the paywall right now. We will talk about some things. I'll see you later. Bye.